To the rant room.
I'm Mike Stark from Mike Stark Show. I'm your host, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mike Starks. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the greatest rant show in what's left of the United States of America. You're tuned into the greatest rant show in what's left of
the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got a full pack show for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of shit to rant about, ladies and gentlemen.
Before
we get into the show, there's a couple things I want to talk about. A lot of things been going on social media and things like that and going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is AI vlogs. I know in my last podcast I had talked about how they had like the Google VO3 thing going on. It's like super realistic simulator and stuff like that. And I see that people have been using these simulators for basically the right thing. It's being used for entertainment purposes and things like that. It hasn't been used for anything malicious so far. They've been making these alien vlogs, Yeti vlogs, gorilla vlogs, basically a Yeti, a gorilla, or an alien in the simulation or whatever else goes around interviewing people or going on basically little weird adventures and shit like that. I like the Yeti one, the Bigfoot one. Basically, he's basically in the woods or whatever else, and he like steals stuff from campers, or he discovers a deer and he makes mistakes out of it. It's funny. I like it. Or the alien that's going down the street interviewing people and saying, "Hey, what do you like about Earth?" and asking humans like, "What do you like about aliens?" or "How do you feel about aliens being on Earth with you right now?" Just stuff like that. Or the gorilla goes through the hood and all that type of stuff. I like that. I like what they're doing with that. I'm glad that so far it's not being used for like slander or anything malicious, not be used for propaganda purposes or whatever else like that. I'm glad they're just using it for funny videos about gorillas and Bigfoots and aliens and shit like that. Cool, as long as it stays like that. That people are not making AI videos that are super realistic with Google VO3 or any other simulator, and basically just making these weird ass videos where they're, being malicious or any type of
alien videos,
bullshit or whatever else, or for the purpose of bigotry or anything like that. As long as it's staying fun, staying funny, stuff like that, I'm all for it. Let's just do that. Second thing, ladies and gentlemen, there have been talks of World War II and everything that's going on with Iran and Iraq and what's going on in Israel and all that type of shit. People making videos talking about we going to war and all that type of shit like that. And of course, black people, my people, we got onto the internet and said, "Oh, who the fuck is we?"
Who the fuck is
A lot of us are saying, okay, we had nothing to do with even electing, even hiring this motherfucker, let alone, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about going to war with some other countries and shit like that. We could have been in good standing with the rest of the world with the other president, but you know what I'm saying? So we're talking about who the fuck is we? And my thoughts on that is that, okay, basically patriotism in America is at an all-time low. A lot of people do not fuck with this government, the United States. They don't
None
fuck
of that
with
shit.
Type of shit like that or whatever. So another country wants to go ahead and take over the United States, we're cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like way back when we were talking about TikTok being banned and everything else, and everybody basically like, well, fuck it, we're gonna go ahead and give all our information to China. We fucks with China and everything else. So like it'd be the same thing. Some other country wants to take over or whatever else. Like we're at the point where we don't give a fuck, or
the door is open.
Another country couldn't possibly do worse than what we got going on here right now. So like we really don't give a fuck. So we're just like, we're not gonna go ahead and stand 10 toes down for this country that's basically fucking us over.
Fuck all this shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like since we had this motherfucker in office, like everything has gone downhill. So a lot of shit is going on with that. Like, yeah, it's already fucked up and everything else, and none of that shit y'all voted for, none of that shit y'all bullshit y'all was talking about had came to pass. None of that shit.
None of that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, gas prices ain't changed, egg prices ain't changed, nothing ain't changed. None of that shit. Y'all motherfuckers was voting for racism. Y'all was voting for all the worst possible things you could possibly vote for. Basically, you voted for a fucking idiot. What it is. When they get talking about how we going to war and all this type of shit like that, that's just not gonna fucking happen. we not going to war. And there's plenty of brothers that's got on there that's basically said that once they start instituting the draft and everything else, a lot of us just ain't gonna go. We'd rather do the time, or basically we're gonna be on the run. We'd rather be on the run. You just gonna have to catch me then. Because a lot of people, we simply not going to go ahead and be drafted to a fucking war that the elites, that the politicians, and that the president, who was a draft dodger, he didn't even fucking go to war. He didn't even go ahead and fight for this country. We're going to go ahead and take our youngest and brightest and start recruiting our people to go over there, go fight in a bullshit-ass war they've probably been cooking up for a while. So yeah, none of that.
None of that.
You know what I'm saying? This whole talk of going to war and everything else, like, America's at the point where patriotism is so low, we will sell out this country to another country. Be like, hey, China, whoever, y'all want to come over and take over the country or whatever else, we'll all convert. We're tired of the shit over here. You know, America could be exactly what it's been advertised as. We could be the country or whatever else the other country ain't really want to be and everything like that. But of course, this country is so divided about everything. We are the divided states of America. We are not the United States of America. We can't agree on shit. We're all fucked up over here. And we got this asshole in office and his vice president's an asshole, and they're basically putting us in situations we don't need to be in and shit like that. And that's what it is. And the last thing I want to talk about before I get into the show, ladies and gentlemen, is Latinos looking for black people and support, because of course they got the ICE raids and everything going on and stuff like that, and families are being ripped apart. A lot of tragic shit going on with that or whatever else. But I will say this. We know since way back during the election, black folks were saying, hey, listen to us, and nobody ever fucking listens to black people. We were telling them, hey, look, this is the type of shit that's going to happen if you put this man to office. But of course, y'all was doing a cha-cha slide, talking about, I will vote for Donald Trump. All this stupid ass shit y'all was doing. Y'all was wearing the Trump t-shirts and all that type of shit, thinking y'all wasn't going to go ahead and get deported, when the motherfucker was telling y'all every step of the fucking way he don't fuck with y'all, and y'all finna get deported. Y'all finna get the fuck up out of here. He don't want none of y'all around here. So now this shit is coming to fruition, and he's out there deporting people. You know what I'm saying? Anybody with an accent, anybody brown, he just getting y'all the fuck up out of here for y'all to be looking at black people like, oh, why aren't y'all helping us and shit like that? There was never no black and brown.
Never.
It was never none of that. And y'all know that. Everybody considered brown knows that, because y'all don't fuck with black people at all.
Y'all sure don't.
You know what I'm saying? This whole grouping the words of black and brown together was a way to basically not have black people have our own separate fucking issues and shit like that. They always tell the black and brown community, it's just black people, and then it's the rest of y'all. Like, black people are not even included in people of color. We got our own separate shit going on and everything like that. I have seen some videos on TikTok where basically like Asians have come out and been like, I don't understand why y'all haven't asked us. Because you'll see Latinos going on there and basically want black people to support and help and get out there and put our bodies on the front line and shit like that. And Asians were like, we'll do it. We'll get out there and support you and everything. You just didn't ask us. So the fact that you're only asking black people and shit like that, it's mad suspicious.
You suspect.
And I think it is too. I really do. Because black people, we didn't forget. I don't understand why people think that somehow people forgot that black people said that we not fucking with nobody else. We're really concerning ourselves with black concerns and what you know, our safety of things going on with black people. And I don't understand people looking at black people and how could y'all be so heartless and not fucking care about the ICE raids and the families being broken apart and everything else.
Because we don't give a fuck.
This right here, everything that's going on with this administration, this president, this vice president, you know, all of this shit going on was 100% avoidable.
Yes. Exactly.
So no, I don't feel sorry for anybody or any of the shit they're going through. Y'all fucking around and find out stages.
That's
and no black people do not have
get.
to give a fuck, and no, we're not heartless, we're not giving a fuck. None of that shit. This was 100% avoidable. There's been a lot of black women online have been basically referring to the election as an open book test, and y'all failed. Like, black folks, we passed with 92%. Y'all failed the open book test when it comes to this type of shit. And now y'all looking at black people like, what do we do? What do you mean, what do we do?
What do you do over there?
So no,
by yourself.
I've seen like a lot of conversations about that. Basically, y'all just like, it should be black and brown this, it should be black and Latino this, and Latino support black people, and you know, our communities are tied together. Where the fuck was all of this before the election? Where the fuck was all this during the election? Because this is the first we're hearing about this type of shit, because we didn't hear about none of this like, oh, blacks and Latinos are together and all this type of shit like that, because y'all looking at us with the numbers, the statistic, the voting numbers came out showing and proved that the overwhelming majority of y'all people voted for the man who y'all thought was going to go ahead and just chastise black people and fuck over black people's lives and not fuck with y'all.
Y'all goofy ass.
Y'all voted against y'all best interest. Y'all voted for this. Y'all voted for other Latinos to get kicked the fuck up out this country and get grabbed and everything else. That's what y'all voted for.
That's what you voted
Y'all
for.
voted right along with the white people who voted for this man. So this whole breakdown of the black and brown community and all that type of shit, it never was. And so for me and a lot of other black people, for us saying we don't care or just
really
like, man, tough titty, like, you know, deal with that shit or whatever else, like we told you. And we're sick and tired of people not listening to black people. Y'all want to see us dance, y'all want to see us sing, y'all want to see us throw a fucking ball. But when black people are saying listen to us, y'all just ignore us like fuck y'all niggas.
Exactly.
And we're tired of that shit. It says motherfuckers don't listen to us, you know what I'm saying? We are not backing y'all, we're not supporting y'all or whatever else. We're not any of that type of shit. Black people meant what we said after the election. When we looked at the numbers and everything else, and 85% of black men and 92% of black women went out there and we voted correctly and did the right thing. We were going to put the proper candidate in there who was going to become the president, who was going to fix some shit and not put a felon in office who was going to fuck up everything. So we don't want to hear the shit. Maybe some other community, like maybe the Asians or some other communities, like going to go out there and support y'all and got y'all back and everything else. Like, we're not doing it.
None of that shit.
And I know y'all been trying to wait us out since the election, thinking black people are going to snap out of it and all this type of shit. And y'all trying to appeal to our sensibilities and this type of shit. But fuck it. If the situation was reversed and black people were getting picked up by ICE and we were being deported to Africa, or
damn, you know what I'm
saying, something like that or whatever, the Latinos would not give a fuck. If black people went to the internet and said, hey, look, our people are being deported or being snatched up by ICE, families are being broken up, everything, what is the Latino community going to do for black people? Can y'all help us out of whatever else? Y'all be like, shit, that ain't my people. That ain't us. And that's why I keep saying, when it comes to these videos that I see on social media, when it comes to some black people who suddenly have a bleeding heart about the situation, y'all are like, well, maybe we should give a fuck and this is tragic and maybe we should stand up or whatever else. It's just like, think about if the situation was reversed. If ICE was not targeting Latinos, if it was targeting black people and it was sending us somewhere and all this tragedy and bullshit was happening to us, like it has in the past, with a lot of other bullshit that we've had to deal with constantly from not just white people, but from other people of color too. I don't see, you know what I'm saying, Latinos being like, oh, we got to rush to go be by y'all side and support y'all and be on the front line with y'all and everything else. It's just not going to fucking happen. But you have to stop and think, what if the situation was reversed? Because I clearly remember, and a lot of black people clearly remember, it was out there Muslims for Trump. It was fucking gays for Trump. It was fucking Latinos for Trump. And y'all was on stage doing whole songs and everything else. Y'all was really out there
all that
like
stupid
that.
Ass shit.
This is what y'all ordered. This is what you ordered.
I hope y'all chuck
y'all
on
just
this
mad
shit.
because this shit isn't coming to black people because we can't get supported, because we're not going to put the fuck out this country, because we're not being rounded up and everything else, because we're not having our citizenship revoked or any of that type of shit. Oh well. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to enjoy the show. Let's get into the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it.
Actually is crazy how people that you know in real life that you fuck with won't like your content, but a stranger who lives all the way in fucking Croatia will like this shit instantly. And I know one of y'all niggas watching this video right now. Yeah, you're not gonna like this shit. Fuck you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my biggest pet peeves, and I've actually mentioned this in previous podcasts too before, is that, okay, people who make content or whatever else, like your friends and family and stuff like that or whatever else, people who constantly view your content or whatever else, act like they're gonna, I don't know, explode, or if they fucking touch the button that says like and whatever else. Like, I don't fucking understand that shit.
Oh, weird as fuck.
A lot of people have been noticing the same fucking thing, that there are places like, what do you call it, YouTube or like TikTok or whatever else, where they show you people who constantly view your profile, people who tune into every bit of content that you put out there and everything else, and never hit the like button, but they're constantly viewing your content. They never comment, they never share, none of that shit. And you know, we see people who are making videos about this too. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? And it's really scattered across the board. One of the things I found out, somebody make a video, it started this whole viral thing that they were doing on TikTok, where they said basically on TikTok or whatever, you are connected to like your Facebook friends, your contacts in your phone and stuff like that, and your friends or whatever else. So like when you put out content, it gets pushed to them first. And if they don't like it or share it and stuff, like they don't interact with it or whatever else, like it doesn't immediately want to push it out to your For You, the For You page. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets lower numbers because of that. So people had to make videos showing people how to disconnect that, how to make sure that, okay, you are not connected to Facebook or any other social media or whatever else, and how to disconnect your contacts or whatever That way, when you make content, it doesn't go to them first. It goes to the people who follow you, who would actually like your fucking content, and people are experiencing higher numbers. What's crazy is that should be the reverse. Because like he mentioned in this clip, people who don't even fucking know you from middle of bumfuck nowhere see your content and are like, oh, okay, and they hit the like button, they like it, they share it, they interact with it. But the people you actually know, your friends, your family, your contacts and shit like that, these are the people who see your shit and then scroll. That's cool. I don't understand it. I think that's really fucking up the algorithm for one thing. You know what I'm saying? If you are experiencing that, go ahead and go to your TikTok or whatever else, or whatever your other social media, and see to make sure you're not connected to Facebook or some other, or got your contacts connected to your social media, whatever. Because if the algorithm is pushing it towards that or whatever else, you are going to get lower numbers than you would if it just took your content and decided to sort it to where it's supposed to go and things like that. And I think that's really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That people see your content, they're just like, it's cool, but they're not going to go ahead and like it or whatever else. I think that's fucking
weird ass nigga.
And I made comments about this in a previous podcast where I talked about, I think that's fucking weird that people who actually like practically religiously look at your content as like, I can see your content. It's like if I go to your page, you see that I'm watching your content or whatever else I'm going through.
Just hit
like,
the damn
that's
like
what's
button.
bizarre about me. So to me, I agree. If you got
What
friends, family, people who are in your contact list or whatever else who see your content and they don't want to hit the like button or whatever else, they don't want to share it, they don't want to interact, whatever, fuck y'all. I will say this. Other content characters I've said this to at the end of their content, or whether they said, okay, if you just follow me, you're not hitting the like button, or you just follow me, you're not hitting the share button or whatever else, fuck you. What are you doing?
Yeah, fuck
I've
you.
literally seen content creators say shit like that. And I 100% agree with them. That's creepy ass, weird ass behavior, because I have mentioned this before in previous podcasts that I have made. If I don't like somebody's content or whatever else, I scroll the fuck on. I'm not going to keep going to your page, watching your content, waiting for something that you drop that's new, whatever else, and keep going to your fucking page. I fucks with people because I like your content. You know what I mean? Like if I friend people on social media or I follow you or something like that or whatever else, I'm hitting the like button, I'm sharing it, I'm interacting with it, whatever else. Y'all hear the clips that I play on everything else. These are people I actually fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird that motherfuckers just be like following you or whatever else and don't like your shit. It's fucking weird.
Ass nigga.
So yeah, definitely. That's really some fucked up shit. Y'all throwing off people's fucking algorithms, and especially if you know the person, you actually their friends or family or whatever else, you just not hitting a like button, or even if you're not. If you follow somebody and you know every time they drop content, you're looking, you're watching it or whatever, because the system is showing people who look at your content or whatever else but don't like it. That's weird as fuck. That's weird as fuck. And I think that's something I had mentioned in the previous podcast, that we need to leave that in 2023. Leave that weird shit back there. Or in 2024, leave that shit back there. In 2025, let's do better. Let's do better. Quit doing with the stalker behavior, going to somebody's page and viewing their content and not hitting the fucking like button.
Looking ass nigga.
I'll say this. This shit is free. It don't cost you nothing. It only take a fucking second.
It's free, you
And when I'm on Spotify and I'm on fucking Pandora or anything like that, and I view a podcast or I listen to somebody's music or whatever else, just like rating their shit, just hitting the like button, just leaving a comment or whatever else, button. Like that doesn't cost y'all nothing. It only takes a second. And that gives your opinion on something to be like, either you like it, you don't like it. Here's why I don't like it. Make more of this shit. Don't make more of this shit. Whatever it may be. Or, you know what I'm saying? It don't cost y'all nothing.
It's free, you bum ass niggas.
It's weird as fuck that people just don't want to do that. It don't cost you nothing. Like I do it immediately. I share content. I like content. I comment on content. Like, y'all weird as fuck for not doing that shit, but you steady following somebody and steady watching everything they fucking do. Y'all weird as fuck.
We are very dedicated to making sure that our platform is super safe.
That's good.
Whoa, hey, look. What?
What do you mean, what? There's someone completely just not wearing any clothes. Aren't you going to do anything about that? You just said you wanted to make this a safe space.
Nice. I mean, I don't really see anything. I can't see what you're talking. You know, your app is composed of mostly adolescent teenagers, right? What are you, a cop? I'm just allowing them to express their freedom, okay? It's their body. I'm gonna let them do what they want with it. I'm a feminist, bro. But how is that making it a safe space? Oh, wait, hold. This is a funny video. Let me just comment on it. LOL. What the freak did you just say? LOL. I won't tolerate hate speech on my platform. After I just said I'm trying to make this a safe space, you dare say that type of hateful language around me? You're banned!
What? That doesn't even make sense.
Unless it's an emoji or a photo unless it's an emoji or a photo or a GIF of someone not wearing any clothing, it's hate speech. You should know that by now.
Ladies and gentlemen, what the fuck is up with TikTok moderation? And I think that this has really gotten crazy since like the app went down and came back up or whatever else. People are getting strikes and violation, and they're saying you're violating community standards, and people's content is being removed, and people are getting banned and shadow banned for just minor stupid shit. You're just leaving the content or whatever. Meanwhile, there are people on there that y'all can go around and basically walk around naked. Y'all can whip out a fucking titty. Y'all can show your dick print. Y'all can do all types of weird ass shit. How the fuck are y'all getting away with that type of shit?
Explain that shit.
And then to say that TikTok is some sort of app for like adolescents, teens, or whatever else. Like, teenagers are not on this fucking app. This is all grown ass people on TikTok or whatever else. For real. It's weird as fuck that people are just walking around and just doing all types. It's like all types of whole shit. It's half naked people. It's women showing a camel toe. It's people whipping a fucking titty out. It's all types of shit going on here. But then when people post content and they say something that somebody else don't like, all of a sudden your page is getting banned. You're getting strikes. Content is getting removed. And people get on here just get away with vulgar and explicit shit on here all the time.
Every day.
It's just weird as fuck. It's like the algorithm is picking and choosing like what. And I know the clip is meant to be funny, whatever, but it's like, it's satire. It's making fun of a very serious situation because this is really what's going on. When I would see content on that, I'm like, why the fuck is that not banned and taken down? But at the same time, if I leave a comment or whatever, my comment gets a strike on it or something like that. And people have been saying that. They're like, what the fuck is going on? I make a comment about something, or I try to get somebody's page, you know what I'm saying, flagged or something like that, and nothing happens to them, but if something happens to me. Me and a lot of other people have seen inappropriate shit going on TikTok. We've all seen people doing something either sexually explicit, they've been doing something vulgar, people have been doing shit that's racist. All types of shit has been going on here. Everything except fun, teen app type of shit. Nobody's doing the little cute dances like when the shit first came out and shit like that. There's none of that shit going on. There's grown ass people acting weird, doing wilding out weird shit. And so for some of us who are just trying to make decent content or whatever else, our shit's getting flagged. All types of shit is happening to people who just make regular content. And not even just the content. You go under the comment section of people who are making weird ass content or whatever else and say something about it. Like he mentioned, okay, you type in anything. I have told people, and I'm really bad at roasting people, because people will post something and I'll put in your comment section, your food look nasty. Or, you know what I'm saying, where your son jacket at? You got him out here and we had no fucking jacket on. I will type shit in the comment sections like that. Next thing you know, I'm violating community standards by putting shit like that under somebody's comment. But somebody can literally go ahead and make a video or even go live where they're fucking basically talking about vulgar content, basically, or they're basically naked on there or whatever else. There has been all types of inappropriate shit, but that shit doesn't get taken down, though. I mean, there have been women on there topless that, you know what I'm saying, there have been men and trans women on there basically showing their dick prints. All types of weird ass shit goes on TikTok that people have been saying, hey, look, did y'all know this shit was going on? And I'm like, no, I didn't know the type of shit was going on. And then I started seeing it. This shit really started happening after the shutdown. Because people have mentioned that a lot of shit is different. The content we used to receive or whatever else, especially about the stuff that was going on with like the Italian shooter who had took down that CEO or whatever else, like all the real content, the government shit that's been going on or whatever, we're not getting any of that feed. We're getting just other stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting the type of shit we were getting before about UFO content,
Where's that
all
at?
that type of stuff. So as long as you're on there posting vulgar content and shit like that or whatever, that gets pushed to the For You page or whatever else, and everybody else is doing other types of content, that shit's not going to the front page. And matter of fact, you leaving minor content or, you know what I'm saying, emojis or whatever it is violating community standards. Something has to be done about this algorithm, this new algorithm, because it wasn't like that on TikTok before. Before, what was it, January 19th, it went down and then came back up. Before January 19th or whatever, TikTok wasn't like this. It wasn't. And if it was, you know what I'm saying, somebody correct me, but it really wasn't like the way it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still enjoy TikTok, but at the same time, I'm like, this ain't the same TikTok. Some shit is weird and going down. I seen somebody who had posted content saying that we live in a dictatorship or some shit like that or whatever else, and all of a sudden they got flagged and they was saying that you're spreading false propaganda or whatever else. Yet you could show a video of a woman basically just touching herself and getting herself off on a video on TikTok or whatever else. Like, that's permissible, but not a person talking about how we live under a dictatorship. Like, TikTok is tripping. For real. That shit's got to get fixed. For real.
And who the hell thought a 40-hour work week was a good idea? We couldn't just land on a cool little 25 hours a week. You know what? 3 days, 30 hours would have been perfect. But no, here we are, 40 hours a week, every week. And I know what you're probably saying. Oh, you just don't want to work. No, I don't. You damn right. Somebody really sat out there and said, you know what? They're going to love this. Check me out. 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, and they got to drive to work so they have no free time on their work days. Like, as humans, I just feel like we were built for so much more. To create and explore, not sit in front of somebody's computer screen for 40, 50 hours a week. At one point, we had to go out there and hunt for our own food. Now we out here hunting for jobs, going through 3-round interviews and not getting a call back. I don't know, man. Weekends starting to feel like lunch breaks, and I just feel like we just need a little bit more time to be humans, you know? Be able to be ourselves and not have to worry about working all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. 40-hour work weeks are insane, especially because there are people out there working, 50, 60-hour work weeks and everything else. And all the shit that's going on with that. Like, I really feel like we live at work. And that is a term that I use all the time. And a lot of people use that term too. That they basically live at work and they visit their house to, eat and shower and visit their family and shit like that. They live at work. And he's right. Humans, where we were meant for so much more. Who knows what the fuck we could possibly be doing if we didn't have to work all the fucking time. If we worked fucking 28 hours a week, some shit like that or whatever, we had all this other free time, and we made enough money off of just working 28 hours a week, who knows what the fuck we could accomplish in our personal lives and what we want to do with ourselves. We could get to spend more time with our fucking families, or we could pick up a new skill, how to paint, or, get some culinary skills or whatever the fuck we want to go ahead and do. And I think about that a lot. I think it's insane how 40 hours a week is like standard. There isn't enough work in the fucking world for us to have to go to fucking go to work and be at work in excess of 40 hours a week, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Just work. I mean, we're in the future at this point, because I have made podcast where I talked about we're moving the era of automation and AI robots and shit like that. Like, when the fuck do these AI robots and all this automation come into play where we don't have to be at work every single day all the fucking time? Where we have to be at work at a minimal amount. We get paid enough to go ahead and take care of everything, and we can spend more time with our family or spend more time with ourselves, developing ourselves and things like that. Humans were definitely made for more than this shit. I think it's fucked up. We live in a country and a society and basically a world where that's like the norm, to just be at work all the fucking time. And like you said in the clip that I played, people will say, "Oh, you just don't want to work." No, people don't want to work all the fucking time. Real people don't want to work. I don't know what the fuck y'all are. Maybe y'all are some type of NPCs or whatever else. But the rest of us, we don't want to be at work all the fucking time. We don't. We don't want to work all week. We don't want to be work all fucking day. We don't want to occupy our lives with constant fucking work. We don't. And if we didn't have to work, we could come up with a dozen things to be doing besides working all the time. If you didn't have to work all the fucking time, you could find plenty of other shit to do with your life. You could actually enjoy life. We are not enjoying life working 40 hours a week every fucking week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. Motherfuckers are doing double shifts and shit like that. We are not living our fucking lives. That shit is crazy. And I do think about that all the time. Like, what are all the things that we could possibly be doing if our time belonged to ourselves? Like, when do we get to the point where we can actually have time for ourselves? Because I think society, we are so agitated and irritated, and we're sleepy, and we're doping ourselves up with fucking no-dos and fucking coffee and energy drinks and shit like that to stay awake. And like, so much shit happens because we're just work all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where we're at. And I think that the whole 40-hour work week shit is crazy. And people literally work themselves to death. And I've talked about that in the previous podcast too, about the banker. I forgot the guy's name, but it was a banker who basically was pulling in almost 100 hours a week, whatever. He was on call all the time, whatever else. He had a heart attack and an aneurysm and some other shit. Like, he developed health problems and he died because they left his wife and his two kids because he just worked himself to death. And there's constant cases of that too. People having serious workplace accidents and they have died or gotten seriously injured because they just work all the fucking time. They're sleep deprived. They have no life outside of work, basically, because they have to work all the time. It's insane. And you don't feel human. You definitely feel like you are some sort of mindless automaton just going to work and just pushing buttons and doing whatever work you do. At what point do we feel human to actually do something besides being at work and being a corporate slave?
White people used unspeakable violence to conquer and enslave and colonize and imperialize, and then only expect us to fight back through debate and through conversation, because debate and conversation does not change the structures that are already in place. That's why white people get so excited about, oh, let's follow Charlie Kirk and debate, because everyone in this situation gets to not only keep the structure in place, but make money off of the current structure. Like, if any white person here was like, I want to go see Charlie Kirk, and when he says something sideways, I'm going to bop him, just a loving little bop. It would fix a lot of things. When I was in 6th grade, there was a bully on the bus. She was a terror. She would spit on kids. She would say horrific things to people. So one day she called me like Ching Chong Small Dick. And instead of debating her, I took her own fist and punched her out. And I said, I know where your bus takes you. If you ever make fun of any of us again, I know which window is yours. And she never bullied anyone again. But debating would not have solved that.
And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely the fuck right. We have got to stop the debates and the convos and all this type of shit like that. It has never fucking worked. It doesn't change anything about the laws, the systems, the principles, the policies. It changes nothing. And I really think we're at the point where we have to go ahead and start body slamming bigots. We got to start bopping people who just act crazy and do shit like that. We got to stop the debates. We got to stop all that type of shit like that. I mentioned in the previous podcast where I was talking about the lady Shiloh, who basically called a 5-year-old black autistic kid a nigga. And of course, they want to make videos. People are talking about this or whatever else. That really could have been resolved with somebody just walking up and punching her right there and shit. Because like I said in that podcast, yeah, you can say what you want, but it's going to cost you.
Hell yeah.
And I think that's really how white people want us to resolve things, is basically talk about things, have combos, debates, petitions, all types of weird ass shit, everything except enacting violence on people. Because in the example that he gave when he was a child and he took the girl's fist and bopped her in the face and all that type of shit, the shit stopped immediately. The reign of terror stopped because he fought back.
That's how it works.
And throughout history, the bullshit stops when you fight back. Every example of people getting bullied, it stops when you fucking fight back. And some things just can't be resolved with talk and debate. And there needs to be a stop the nonviolence movement. Stop the nonviolence. Because like he mentioned Charlie Kirk and some other people, whatever else, I don't follow Charlie Kirk and any of that type of shit like that, but there are people who just talk wild reckless about some shit like that or whatever else. And these are the type of people like y'all president, like y'all vice president, who talk wild crazy to people like the president of Ukraine and everybody else because they never got their shit rocked. And I think that if that were to happen, if somebody were to knock their fucking front teeth out or whatever else, that shit would stop.
Sure would.
You want to act tough, you want to act a bully, you want to be this insufferable bigot, catch these hands. And that has to be the mantra. It's going to have to be bigots get body slammed or stop the nonviolence. The people who are the peacekeepers, the people who are the pacifists, the people who are like, let's not be violent, let's figure another way out or whatever else, those are the people in the communities who get walked all over. They get treated like shit because you ain't going to do shit.
So scared ass.
Period. You ain't going to do shit. And that's on every level of everything. That if somebody who is in power or whatever else wants to go ahead and bully and fuck with somebody else or whatever else, it keeps continuously happening because you ain't gonna do shit. That's the same thing that happens in any type of domestic relationship. Until you fight back, until you put hands on that person and knock their shit loose, it's gonna keep happening.
Every time.
That also happens in oppressive situations in America with people who are different races and ethnic groups and stuff like that too. That stops the bullshit. Everything can be resolved with talking, debate, and petitions and marches and shit like that. At this point, basically at this point in history and time and everything that's going on, y'all gonna have to stop the nonviolence movement. Because like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast where I was talking about Latinos and everything else, like y'all need to stop being pacifists. Maybe y'all need to go out there because y'all got motherfuckers in military uniforms snatching your babies and deporting the parents and shit like that. The fuck?
That's crazy.
Why don't y'all as a community come together and be like, hey, y'all got hands, y'all got, you know what I'm saying, weaponry, y'all community, whatever y'all want to do. But the shit will stop if y'all fight back. Y'all meet force with force. Y'all meet force with force. Y'all fight fire with fire. Because I'll be damned if they make it legal or make it a law to be like, hey, we can go ahead and scoop up black kids and take them off to some facility and do whatever they want to them. Hell the fuck no. We will burn America to the fucking ground before we allow that shit.
Exactly.
That's just us. While y'all asking us to go ahead and be on the front line and help y'all the fuck out.
We'll flip all this shit over.
If it was happening to us, there wouldn't be an America.
We'll knock all this shit down.
Don't get me wrong. There is a time and a place for everything, to talk and debate and to work things out with people who want to talk and work things out and come to a resolution that is equitable for all parties involved and everything like that. But with some people, they don't want any of that. And the fastest way to resolve the situation is with nonviolence. It is with body slamming bigots. It is with, you know what I'm saying, meeting force with force.
There's actually women in the world that will deny the biological father of her children access to the children, claiming that he's dangerous, he's unfit, he's unwell, he doesn't know how to take care of them, whatever the reasons that she comes up with. But then she's going to turn around and have multiple strangers and different dudes around her kids and still consider that safe? That is the most selfish and trashy thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. But not only will these women deny the biological father access to the children while having multiple dudes around, when the children actually bring it up to the mother that they're uncomfortable, she's actually going to put the boyfriend's needs above her children. And the other messed up part about it is if the biological dad wants to fight or have any say in it, he's going to have to spend thousands of dollars in court trying to prove his case. Meanwhile, all of this is happening and there's nothing that he can do about it. And let's be honest, the real reason that women pull this kind of shit is because they cannot fathom the idea of their ex-partner not wanting anything to do with them outside of the children. These are the types of women that want wife treatment as an ex-wife. And I don't know about you, but who the fuck is going to treat their ex the exact same way that they did when they were in a relationship as an ex? Make that make sense. The fact that women can actually deny the father of their children access to the children and then have multiple dudes around their children and consider that better judgment is just crazy to me. Okay, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the life of me, I can't understand why men would put themselves through this shit at all. I've been pushing this whole get sterilized, use protection, all that shit in plenty of my podcasts. I don't understand why the baby mama drama and all that type of shit motherfuckers would even put themselves through. Because there are so many silly ass games that baby mamas play when the baby daddy don't want to be with the baby mama no more. The relationship, whatever, but he want to be with his kids. And her mental problems and issues of him moving on or him simply not wanting to be in a relationship with her. He just wants a relationship with his kid and everything else. All the silly shit that men have to go through to see their kids. It's ridiculous. And women will just lie. They will just lie and say he's dangerous or he's mentally unstable. All this shit so he can't see his kids. Or, you know, he'll come over and he'll pick up his kids and go get ice cream or whatever else. And she'll call and say he kidnapped the kids. He wasn't supposed to see them this weekend. All types of silly ass shit that men have to go through. Men literally have to pay to see their own kids. It's all about the money. It's not about him being an involved father. Women act like they have sole autonomy over this child that both of y'all came together and made, and then men have to go ahead and have no say so over how a child is raised and who that child could be around.
Man, that's
and
fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all break up or y'all get divorced or whatever else, and now she wants to suddenly out of spite start dating and bringing other guys around your child. And now you're like, well, I don't want this person around my kid or whatever else. You know, nobody should be around the kid, so the father of that kid. And now they have to have these whole issues and problems. For me, I don't understand that. Women get so bitter over the breakup and how a man don't want you no more. And how you will bring another guy in and make him the father of your kid, the stepdaddy or whatever, have other people around the kids knowing damn well the real father of this child is out there. And you are the one keeping them from seeing his own kids and being involved with his own kid's life. You will lie to your kids for 18 fucking years.
For 18 fucking
knowing damn
years.
well you're the reason why that kid is not seeing their
lying to
father.
them every day.
That's why I don't understand for the life of me why men put themselves in this type of situation. Unless you are absolutely certain that you are locked in with this woman and you absolutely want to have kids and you have set yourself up for this type of situation or whatever else, you shouldn't be having no kids at all. Be on your protection, or, you know what I'm saying, shell out that money and go ahead and get you that sterilization, get you that vasectomy, get that shit done. There are niggas sitting on the shelf in jail. They are locked up. They are going through all types of legal and financial problems because they had kids with some woman who's acting crazy because they're not together no more, but you still want to be in the life of his child. Don't even put yourself in stupid ass situations like this. Most of y'all men out there, y'all can't afford to take care of no kids. The baby mamas that you have with these kids, they can't afford to take care of these kids.
And y'all know that shit.
And some of these times, these women don't even want these kids. They're keeping them out of spite, keeping away from you. They're causing problems in a child's life out of spite because she mad because you moved on or because y'all broke up or whatever else. It's silly shit. Baby mamas play the silliest fucking dumbest fucking games when it comes to these kids. That child is a whole life. They need both parenting from both the parents. They need the coalition of both of them parents working together. And yet somehow 9 times out of 10 it is the mother doing this shit. just playing silly, stupid ass games to make sure that, okay, the father side of the story isn't heard. You can't see your dad. Oh no, your dad's dangerous. Your dad's crazy. Your dad is this, dad is that, or whatever else. Or they got some new guy lined up that she's interested in. Oh no, he'll be better dad for you, or whatever else. Just dumb shit. Fucking up your kids' lives. Lying to them every single fucking day.
For 18 years.
Indoctrinating them to the point where, okay, once they become an adult, they don't even bother to go find their father and hear his side of the story of what's going on or anything like that. There are men out there, they are paying so much in child support. They're out there dealing with legal shit because of just crazy baby mamas and accusation, and how a lot of states is very slanted towards the women when it comes to divorce and custody and placement of the children. Like I said, men, it's really on you. For the life of me, I can't understand why y'all even want to put yourself in a situation.
Get a vasectomy.
Be serious about your protection. Be serious about you not wanting to have no fucking kids. Be serious about all of that shit. Be serious about that.
Before you make me cuss you out, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It actually really has nothing to do with politics in and of themselves. But I want everybody to think about something for a moment. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. Only in America can you be a convicted felon and be president. You can't be a doctor, nurse, lawyer, firefighter, EMT. You can't be anything. You can barely get a job working at McDonald's. Hell, I got felon partners who got denied working in slaughterhouses because they're convicted felons. A multiple convicted felon is running our country. If that does not tell you that the office of the president and the government itself is a joke, I don't know what else to tell you. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This has nothing to do with color. Has nothing to do with race. This has everything to do with the fact that this is all one big game and we are all dumb enough to still be playing it. As a felon, you are not trusted to carry a firearm, but a felon is in control of our nuclear arsenal.
Absolutely correct, ladies and gentlemen. This is America, and only in America are citizens who are felons are, denied all sorts of basic shit once they've served their time in, prison or whatever else, and they get out to society and want to turn their life around, do what they want to do to, better themselves, are having difficulty basically, repatriating themselves and becoming an American again. They're having difficulty with housing, finding jobs. They can't possess a firearm. They're restricted to where they can go and what they can do and everything else. But yet, all of this shit is a fucking joke. But not your
president, though.
Like, criminal backgrounds and shit like that, because, like he said, a multiple-time felon is in the office right now. Y'all elected him. Y'all put him in charge of very important shit. When y'all have a choice between a multiple-time convicted felon and a woman who is not a felon at all, a woman who is not a criminal at all, that's what y'all chose. This is America. This is America.
Only in America.
Only in America. Ladies and gentlemen, I had made a podcast, and I think it was called Make Elections Serious Again. I talked about how if I ever ran for president or something like that, there were certain things that I would want to change, or things I agree with, things I don't agree with, and stuff like that. One of the things that I had mentioned, I think it was I had a long list, and one of the second or third thing on my list or whatever else is dealing with criminal backgrounds. And I was saying that people who have felonies, with the exception of sex offenders or something like that, but people who have felonies, they would get that shit erased from criminal records. Like, criminal records would be a thing of the past, because if you went to prison, you served your time and everything else, and that you should have to go ahead and have the ability to start your life over again, because people recriminalize and go back to prison because they have such difficulty, because they can't go places, can't do things, they can't get certain jobs, they're dealing with difficulty when it comes to housing, because that shit is just looming over them like impending doom. And it's so difficult out there for people who have had past felonies for things that they did when they were younger or whatever it may be, and they're trying to, make a better life for themselves and do better now. But yet at the same time, it's like, okay, y'all have a president who is a multiple-time felon, and y'all ignored this to put him at the fucking office and put him in charge of important shit. So now we're at the point, and I was saying this during the election too, that we're at the point now where people right now who are felons who want to go work in a warehouse, or want to go work at McDonald's, or want to go work at a fucking bank or whatever, and the bank's like, yeah, you got a felon, you can't work or whatever else, that should be 100% arguable. Y'all need to get a lawyer and be like, okay, well, y'all got a president who's a felon and you're telling me I can't work at the bank? That's discrimination. Every single case of that shit should be debated. You're telling me the person with a felony can't go, can't get certain housing or whatever it may be, or, they can't possess a firearm when, like you mentioned, how the president is in charge of the entire military. He has the nuclear codes. He has the launch codes. He's in charge of all this important shit. And he's a multiple-time felon. That's y'all president. Y'all chose a criminal over a woman who has no criminal background.
None.
All of this shit is a joke. All of this shit is a fucking joke. This is why people who do have felonies, who want to go ahead and move forward in life and do something what they want to do or whatever else, it should not even be considered. The shit should just be taken off their fucking records and everything else. All the people trying to get their life together and do right because you had a felony, you did your time in prison or whatever else, all of that shit need to be taken off your fucking records. You trying to get a job, you trying to get a house, you're just trying to go do what regular Americans fucking do. You want to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should never be factored in if they're going to go ahead and put somebody who is a multiple convicted times.
Yes.
Exactly.
Multiple times in the highest seat in the country. You put him in office. You're making him your president. And this is why I keep saying that since the election, all of this shit is basically just about race. Because a person who is a criminal versus a person who's not a criminal. A person who is unqualified and uneducated versus a person who is overqualified and exceptionally educated. So much shit has got to change. Only in America does this type of shit go on.
Only
this shit
in
would
America.
not apply in any other country at all, where you're going to have convicted felons become your president and shit like that. We are such a brain dead society with shit going on like this.
Talk about being a white illegal immigrant in America. I was born in America, but my father was not. He was born in Sweden. My parents, when they got married, they came over here legally. My dad got a work visa and then a green card. Eventually, my father lost his job. His green card expires and he stays in America. Father is now considered an illegal immigrant. Father was arrested multiple times, did drugs, all while not having legal documentation. They never once threatened to deport him. Why? He's white. It's because he's white. Like, y'all, are you not seeing what I'm seeing? You're a white person talking about, oh no, we're deporting them because they're illegal. You're racist. You're racist because you wouldn't deport a white person.
And that's just a fact, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the facts.
Exactly.
This lady, who was a white lady, talking about her father, who is an illegal immigrant. There have been many videos of this made of white people being like, they're illegal, they're from Canada, they're from some other country or whatever else, and they're here. And it's just like, oh, they're Greek, they're Italian, or whether they're here, illegal immigrants. Nobody's looking for y'all.
Nobody.
And we were saying this, black people, we were saying this to everybody who was a person of color, a non-black person of color. We were saying this during the election, okay, that they're not going to get fancy because they don't care. They're just going to start deporting everybody who's brown, everybody with an accent and everything else. They're not going to be, when they talk about how we're trying to deport the illegal immigrants or whatever else, they're not talking about white people. When they talk about travel, when they talk about bans from other countries to keep people from coming here or whatever else, they're not banning anybody white from European countries from coming here. They're not deporting a bunch of white people who are here from Canada or here from the UK or whatever else. That's all this shit is about. This shit is about removing as many brown people and people with accents and everything else the fuck up out this country. They're not looking and seeing, okay, is anybody white? Are they a legal immigrant? Breaking laws and everything else. It's never been about illegal immigration. The entire time it has been about race. And that's why this circles back to what I was talking about at the beginning when we were talking about the Latinos. And the Latinos were like, where are the black people on this issue and everything like that or whatever else. Like, we told y'all, we were telling y'all, we've been telling everybody. Nobody ever fucking listened to us ever about anything. At all.
Nope.
Y'all sitting there agreeing with them like a bunch of dumbasses. I'm like, yeah, well, we just want to get the illegal immigrants up out of here and everything else. When they're talking about you, they're criminalizing you. They want you up out of here. They're going to call you illegal whether you're here illegally or not. They're removing your citizenship if you are a legal citizen here. You're brown, you got an accent, get the fuck up out of here. And we were saying it.
We've been saying that.
But no, y'all want to two-step and sing about Donald Trump and everything else. Y'all want to wear your fucking Trump t-shirts.
Those
But now your friends and family, your community's being torn apart and everything else. And you're looking over here at black people. For what? And black people were like, I said what I said. Didn't listen. Didn't give a fuck. That's what the fuck happens. And you mad because this shit ain't happening to us too. That's all it is. It's not because you want our support or to have your back or whatever else, or that you truly believe that our communities are linked in this some sort of black and brown coalition or whatever else. Only y'all are out there fearing for y'all life for, you know what I'm saying, what's going on with ICE and everything else. White immigrants are not worried at all. Like she said, her dad was doing all types of drugs and illegal activity and everything else, and never once worried about being deported about this country.
You knew.
He's from Sweden. There are people here illegally from Canada, too. The other border that, you know what I'm saying, this country never talks about. There are people here illegally from Canada.
They crossed that border, too.
But so much focus is on the southern border, as if we don't have a border up north where there are illegal Canadians getting into the United States.
Every day.
As if we don't have European people who are, their visas or whatever else expired and they're just here. And they can just get away with that shit because they're white. They can just circumnavigate the whole fucking system because they're white. Meanwhile, there are people who came here the legal way and got paperwork and got everything done who are getting deported back to the fucking country, even though they did everything the right way. Dozens of reports of that shit going on. Of people being like, oh no, I did everything I was supposed to be doing. I'm here. I'm a naturalized citizen now and everything else. You're like, no, you're not. Fuck up out of here. I don't want to hear shit from y'all.
I don't want to hear another white person say the word illegal for the rest of my goddamn life. We are living on stolen land. Our ancestors forcibly and violently seized this land from the indigenous peoples who were living here for generations before we ever showed up. We do not get to call them illegal. We don't own the fucking planet. Nobody does. We are evolved monkeys with opposable thumbs who use them to write little monkey scribbles on a slice of tree, and we call it a birth certificate with our little monkey sounds. All of it is made up. None of it is real, and it doesn't fucking matter. And it's certainly not a valid reason to rip a terrified, screaming child away from his weeping mother. And I am tired of being made to feel like I'm crazy for being angry about this. Capitalism is just narcissism as an economic system. Imperialism is just narcissism as a foreign policy. If the lion can't claim the safari for himself and call the elephant illegal, then neither the fuck can we.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's crazy that the OG descendants of the first immigrants to this country came here and just took this fucking country are the ones who are the loudest proponents of like, let's get all these illegals out of this country and never talk about yourselves. Like,
exactly.
Y'all are still illegal immigrants. At no point did the native indigenous people, you know what I'm saying, like make it legal for you to be here on their land. And I think we just never talk about that enough, that this is stolen land and that you are illegal immigrants. And that all the people who look like this white lady in this video are just like talking about illegal this and illegal that when everything y'all have ever done was illegal.
Bitch, y'all illegal.
Y'all have done none of the things that you're asking immigrants who come to this country to do. You didn't go through any naturalization process through the native indigenous people. You didn't have a green card. You didn't go through anything in order to be in this country through the native indigenous.
Just came here and stole this shit.
But yet somebody who comes to this country and crosses the border that you made up, because this was Mexico, y'all just drew a line and said, okay, this is the border now. You guys stay on that side, we're on this side. And you decide to like, oh, well, you weren't born here. Get the fuck up out of here. Or you can't come in this country because this is my country. Claiming shit. You mentioned something that really stands out. And I mentioned this in a previous podcast. And I keep talking about previous podcasts and everything else. But I've said some really deep shit in previous podcasts where I've talked about how all of this shit is just made the fuck up. Policies, rules, regulations, laws, all this type of shit is made the fuck up. Everything is made the fuck up. And how we can all just change all of this shit. Just borders and, you know what I'm saying, like she mentioned birth certificates and all that type of shit. It's fucking stupid. And it irritates the fuck out of people who could see the whole fucking picture and understand all of this type of shit. That, you know what I'm saying, like none of us own any of this fucking land. We're all just here. It doesn't belong to anybody. Like, we all need to just pause, step back and realize we are a ball of rock and water hurtling through fucking space. And here we are, little fucking ants on a fucking planet in the middle of nowhere, sitting here talking about, hey, look, this is my land and you can't come on my land because I claimed that it's my land and shit like that.
With your childish ass.
You're an illegal immigrant on my land because I just decided this is just my land. Fucking dumb. All of this shit is dumb. And it's always so dumb to hear white people talk about illegal immigration as if you're not still illegal immigrants. Your ancestors were illegal immigrants, and you're the descendants of illegal immigrants. You're still illegal immigrants. You're still not legal in this country to the native indigenous people. If you want to talk about people who are owning and claiming this land as their own and everything else, if we're going to be doing that, if we're going to be talking about people owning and claiming this land or whatever else, then the native indigenous people would own and claim this land. And they haven't said that you're illegal. They have not said that you are legal. The audacity of illegal immigrants calling other people illegal immigrants. The audacity of people who would come into your house illegally and set up shop and live there and everything else, and then tell people who are inside that house, you're illegal immigrant, you need to get the fuck out. To decide who else gets to come inside that house and be like, oh, no, you can't come in here, this is my house, when it wasn't yours to begin with. When you broke in and stole that fucking house, now you're going to tell anybody else that comes in there they're illegal immigrants. Absolutely fucking insane. Absolutely fucking insane. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been my show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go back over a few things. There's a few things to be said again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of the show, I had mentioned when I'm talking about social media, I've been talking about how basically on places like TikTok or whatever else, your friends, people on your contact list and everything else, these are the people who, in some cases, your content goes to them first or whatever else, or it gets ran by them first. And if they're not liking or interacting with it because they just know you and they don't care or whatever else, like, that's crazy. But also just in general, people just viewing your content and not hitting the like button. Like, I don't understand that shit is free. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, I don't know, TikTok or anything like that. Like, if you're going to be viewing their content all the fucking time, like hitting the like subscribe button and leaving a comment and things like that, all of that shit is free. And a lot of people are finding it fucking weird to have all this stalker ass behavior of people who just observe your content and never hit the like button.
Bum ass nigga.
It's weird. That shit's got to change. I was hoping we were going to leave that shit back in 2024, but it seems that people are bringing that behavior into this year too. Crazy. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about TikTok moderation, how something has definitely changed since the new TikTok since January or whatever else, because I don't think this much was going on beforehand. But basically, yeah, some people on social media are getting away with like nudity and basically porn and all types of vulgar content and stuff like that. And like their shit's not getting taken down. Meanwhile, some of us post the most benign comments under somebody's content or whatever else, and you get struck with you're violating community standards and shit like that. Or your content expresses how you do or don't like something. You talk about something political or your opinions on anything going on with social justice or whatever else, and it's getting flagged or you're getting shadow banned or whatever else. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like, where do you go on social media to go ahead and talk about this type of stuff where it's not going to be having this type of issues with its moderation and with its community guidelines? Because me telling somebody that their food looks disgusting is not violating any type of community guidelines. Let's be fucking for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, people walking around with their titties and ass out and motherfuckers showing their dick prints and shit like that, that's violating, you know what I'm saying, community guidelines. Hate speech is violating community guidelines and shit like that. Especially when they try to make it seem like this is some fun teen app and stuff like that. This has not been a fun teen app since when this shit first came out. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, 40-hour work week. I still think it's insane that people work more than 40 hours a week. I know we all have to at some places or whatever else, but that's insane. It's just insane in this day and age of automation and AI technology and everything else that we have jobs where people have to put in all this fucking time at their fucking job. And we're getting to the point where we're just living at work. And we visit our home, we visit our kids, we come home, we eat, we shower, go right back to living at work. And I think about it all the time about what the fuck could we possibly be doing with our lives if we didn't have to work all the fucking time.
Everything.
I say that because, you know, our capacity to do other things, like maybe become a culinary genius or an artist or a singer-songwriter, whatever the fuck we could be doing if we didn't have to go to our jobs to work all the fucking time, or how good we could be at teaching our kids or become a good motivator or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? What we could be possibly doing with our lives if we didn't have to work all the time. If we worked a solid 22 hours a week and we made enough to go ahead and take care of our bills and expenses and shit, and we had all the other free time to deal with ourselves or to deal with our family and stuff like that, we have a much better society. And I really think that working all the time ruins people, ruins homes, ruins society. We don't need to work all the fucking time. It's fucking ridiculous. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about basically some things can be resolved with talk and debate. And I know that's something that, historically in this country, that's something that white people always try to talk to people of color about, how we need to remain peaceful and basically march and protest and have people sign your petitions and everything else. And I really think we need to stop the nonviolence. We need to go ahead and meet force with force when it comes to things. People have been bullying us, and the only way to stop a bully is to go ahead and sock a bully in their shit. And I really think we need to start a movement where bigots get body slammed, where people who are bullies get their ass whooped. Like an example that he made in the clip or whatever else, the whole situation stopped the day that he fought back. And people get oppressed when they don't fight back. People get taken advantage of when they don't fight back. People get bullied when they don't fight back. Immediately start meeting shit with force. Stop trying to turn the other cheek, be a better person, and all these other avenues of nonviolence and being a pacifist and all this type of shit. That shit does not work. This country was founded on fucking violence. Some of y'all, when y'all ancestors came here, y'all didn't come here with this thing, you're going to talk about stuff and debate things and things like that. No, y'all came here and just took what the fuck y'all wanted. Some of y'all, but the same ancestors as me, the only reason why we're here right now is because we fought every step of the way. We didn't talk to our oppressors. We didn't debate our oppressors. We didn't have our oppressors sign our petitions or any of that weird ass shit. We went ahead and fought. We met force with force. We fought back. And shit changed because of that. And that's what people got to start doing. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the silly ass games that baby mamas play and everything else, and all the things that baby daddies have to go through. Whether she's your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, she got your kids and stuff like that. All of this is really on the man. I really think that don't even put yourself in situations like this unless you're absolutely sure you locked in and you got, you know what I'm saying, you know you're going to be with this person and you know you're going to deal with their shit or whatever else and all that type of stuff. Like most times, all of this is 100% avoidable by just not having kids, straight up, because shit could happen when you can go ahead and have legal problems and things like that. And there are men out there who are battling over when they can see their kids, how they can see their kids, what kind of say so they can have over how the kids are raised and shit like that. Like, I really think unless you're absolutely sure and you're locked in, you're married, you're absolutely sure you're with the right person and you got your finances together and things like that. Like, if you don't got any of these steps in place and you're not doing any of that type of shit or whatever else, you can avoid all of the silly ass games that baby mama drawn by just simply making sure you don't have kids at all. Be serious about your protection. Go get that fucking vasectomy or sterilize yourself or whatever else. Don't even do any of this type of shit. For real. Men go through so much shit. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, this is America, and only in America are y'all going to go ahead and let a person be a multiple time convicted felon be in the fucking highest office in our country and let him run shit
only
and have
in America.
him in charge of important shit. When y'all won't let a felon go ahead and work in McDonald's, y'all won't let a felon work in a warehouse, y'all won't let a felon work at the bank or whatever else. It makes no sense. It just shows how all of this shit right here is really about race. Because when in this country, when white people have convictions and felonies and they have records or whatever else, there always seems to be some way around that they hire these people and they work around them getting a firearm and some other shit like that. It's really just to oppress the rest of them. It really is. Because if we were so hard on criminals and people doing criminal behavior, y'all wouldn't let a criminal become the president. Because we have so many idiots during the election who were talking about, yeah, we need to get the criminals out of here because we want to get the illegals out of here because they're criminals and they're going to do this and do that or whatever. Y'all put a criminal in office. Y'all let a criminal talk you into voting him into office. It has the audacity to talk about, oh, there's criminals crossing our border. Criminals coming into our country. They're going to murder us and rape us and all this type of weird ass shit.
Our president's a whole criminal.
Talk you into that. Only in America. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is being done about white illegal immigration. And we all told you that. By we, I mean black people. We have said that over and over, that this is basically a manhunt for brown people. Basically trying to get Latinos and other brown people and anybody with an accent about this fucking country. They're not looking about immigration as a total, as a whole. They're not looking at it as being like, oh, we want to get all illegal immigration out of here. They're not looking to criminalize illegal immigrants who are white. None of that shit. This was never about any of that shit. This was just about depopulating our country of brown people and people with accents and stuff like that, about having the ability to go ahead and break up families and scoop up people and take them out to facilities or fly them out to another country somewhere or whatever. That's all this is about. It's all about race. It's all about control. It's all about power. It's all about this regime. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, white people using the words illegal immigration when y'all are the descendants of illegal immigrants. Stolen life. The fact that a lot of white people do not have this type of, like, your brain disconnects when you're sitting there talking about illegal immigrants and how we want to get the legal immigrants out of here, as if y'all were ever legal immigrants.
Y'all are still illegal.
It was crazy. During the election, I did a podcast where I was talking about the Navajo Indians and how ICE had went up to like Arizona and the areas where like the Navajo Indians and everything else. They went up there and they were asking about their legal status and things like that. And I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Navajo people are indigenous. They've been here for 600 fucking years. They were here before colonization. And basically, it was never about like getting the criminals up out of here. It was never about legal immigration. It's like something is disconnected in white people's brains to think that, okay, everybody's a legal immigrant except for you. As if native indigenous people shouldn't be going to you and going, y'all are illegal immigrants too. When are y'all gonna leave? That's crazy. So it was never about white illegal immigration or any of that type of shit.
Nope.
Of course, your president has an immigrant wife, and vice president has like an immigrant wife. Like all this type of shit is fucking crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my show. I want you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, you can contact me at doomstar7@gmail.com, doomstar7@gmail.com, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing I want to get into before I close out the show that I didn't have a clip for, but I just want to make a quick rant about that. There have been non-black women of color and some white women talking about patriarchy and basically talking about feminism and issues like that or whatever else. And me personally, whenever y'all go on these rants about patriarchy and feminism and shit like that or whatever, I don't want to hear any of that shit anyway. But also, I definitely don't want to hear this shit from anybody who's not a black woman. The election, y'all had the chance to put a woman into office. Y'all had the chance to put a woman in office, put her in a position where she is in a very powerful position to go ahead to be in charge and everything else. And the overwhelming majority of non-black women voted against her. So me personally, I don't ever want to hear, ever, from non-black women about the patriarchy and hear about talking about feminism and all this type of shit like that, because when it came for your chance to vote for a fucking woman and put her, you know what I'm saying, in office and put her in charge, the overwhelming majority of y'all voted against her because racism was more important than feminism. Y'all voted for the patriarchy. So I don't want to hear any of that shit from non-black women. Y'all voted for the patriarchy. Y'all voted for anti-feminism. All that type of shit. So I keep seeing those videos where women are talking about this type of shit, and I'm just like, I don't want to hear none of that shit from anybody who ain't a black woman. A woman ran for office. In fact, twice. But just for this one too, this one right here, you had an overqualified candidate with a woman of color, and y'all didn't vote for her. The overwhelming majority of non-black women did not vote for her. So apparently y'all don't care about none of that shit y'all be talking about. Y'all don't care about bodily autonomy and rights for women and equal rights for women, all that type of shit. Y'all don't care about none of that shit. Y'all had the opportunity to vote for that and put that into office, all that type of shit, and y'all didn't do it. So y'all bullshit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Nobody should ever take y'all seriously because y'all get on there talking about the type of shit, and yet y'all voted for the exact thing that y'all are against. So fuck it. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been my show, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Ever be able to convince me that this genetic mutated group of humans are born with a soul. The white humans who are exceptional, I'm pretty sure they have something in their DNA. And yes, I know a lot of good white humans, but most of them have something a little sprinkled down the line from generations ago. USA is proof that the genetic mutated group of humans are not born with a soul. This country could be literally what we advertise it to be if white humans were good people and had souls. But it looks like they don't, because this country is perpetually in shit because of white humans. White humans make it stagnant. White humans keep it mediocre. White humans commit the most atrocities in this country, yet white humans don't hold other white humans accountable. And that's why I say you will never, ever be able to convince me that white humans are born with a soul. They were not born with a soul.